fucking here it is. About trial by fire. I've never uploaded anything to YouTube before, and here we go live. So look at me, Mum, I'm on YouTube. Well, unfortunately Mum can't see me on YouTube. She dead. We might talk about that at another damn time. But this is really, I guess you'd call it a vlog. It's probably not going to be entertaining at all. It really is just to document what happens and what's been happening to me lately. So I guess, geez, it's gonna get rowdy here. I'll put the windows up. I think there's location turned onto this, but I am in Pattaya, depending on how you want to say it, or Pattaya, depending on your pronunciation, which is in Thailand, Sin City. It really is Sin City. The more I learn about this place, the more that rings true. I've been here about 7 years or so, and it's only been in the last sort of 6 months have I really begun to learn about this place. I mean, I guess I hit a ceiling there, and I kind of knew what most people know about the place. But anyway, so as a bit of an intro, which I probably should do a bit of an introduction. I'm going to omit quite a bit from in the early stages of this channel, I guess you'd call it. Guys, I'm not the sort of person that wants the attention of a YouTube channel. It's just, this really is, I'm doing this out of desperation. Basically, I've been victimized, for want of a better term, and I'll just go right ahead and start trying to explain that. So 6 months ago, I had been saying I've reconnected. I don't know where I lost the connection there, but so yeah, I was just talking about hacking and the nature of hacking, and that from what I've read, it is usually the case that you've been compromised well before you know that you've been compromised. So I suspect that my systems have been compromised sometime before 6-7 months ago, but it came to my attention when I had a lot of Bitcoin on Binance, and it's not something that I normally would do. It's just that the price was so volatile, and things were just sort of up in the air. I was looking to get skinny. I was looking to get liquid, and so that's what I was trying to do. And then obviously someone tried to pinch it, and I was extremely lucky to realize what was happening, and I locked up all my accounts. The main one being a Binance account, and I didn't lose too much. So, extremely nervous, guys. Not that there's anybody watching, but I'm sure someone will. Maybe one day. I'll probably watch it myself. I might be the only person that does. But I'm still nervous. So, yeah, and then what followed is basically, I tried to no avail to basically clean up my systems and shake these pricks from basically doing whatever they felt like. Excuse me, that looked really rude. It's just I was adjusting my boxer shorts, honest. And now I'm just reaching for a cigarette. It's all above board. So, yeah, to no avail being the point. And, you know, to the point where, you know, I was cleaning up. I mean, so I don't know if I should mention this, but it doesn't matter. I'm compromised still to this day. So, Mac stuff is, Macintosh stuff is what I use. Doing full clean installs. And these guys are back in within, you know, 12 hours or so. And it was just, it had me baffled as to how, you know, I'm clicking no links, I'm doing nothing, and they're back in. Well, I later found out that that basically this hack was not, you know, an ocean or two away as I had originally thought it was, which is, I don't know, probably what most of it, certainly what I thought. You know, it could be anyone, right? It was not, it was basically, it was coming from my backyard. It was very, very close. Now I'm going to be very careful not to point fingers. Excuse me. I'm going to be very careful not to point fingers in such a public forum. But let's just say my own backyard is pretty fucking accurate. So, that's all. You know, that's one thing. Now, what's followed is what needs documenting and what I would like to document. So, like I say, I'm going to leave a lot out, and I will in time touch on different aspects of what's going on here. And the reason that I want to leave a lot out is because I want to leave these fucking assholes a little bit of time or a little bit of room to back off. So, and you know, it's probably my mistake straight off the bat, because this is what I've done for the last couple of months now, is allowed them the room to back off, and with that room that I have allowed them, they have taken it, run with it, and used it to fuck me even harder. Excuse my French, but that will happen a lot. You'll be hearing a fair bit of that. So if you don't like it, tough testicles. I know one group of people that are not going to like this, and that's the people that are aggressing towards me. And we may even get to see some signs of that, and that's kind of, I'm expecting to see that. In fact, I'm expecting to not see it for some time, until I really squeeze it out of them. I'm not going to try and squeeze it out of them. In another intro that I recorded for this, which will probably never see the light of day, I mentioned how I know exactly how to twist these guys' titties. Well, I know a few ways to do it anyway, and I'm not looking to do that just yet. But if I have to do that just to prove that I'm not a raving lunatic, hang on, I probably am a raving lunatic. But if I have to do it to prove that in this situation, I am, you know, these things really are happening. Because there are some people that are quite close to me who have said, Ben, you need help. You know, you're suffering from a mental illness. What you think is happening isn't really happening. But even those people are starting to come around. So I guess as an introduction, yeah, you know, I'll probably just go live every now and again. Maybe if I have the odd thought, you know, I'll pre-record some things that need mentioning. I've recorded some other stuff, purely because, like, the way that this is developed at times, I can see the setup for some of their plays, and they're fucking scary. You know, these I can see a definite setup for you know, let's just say, and I'll get into this, but just to be broad, there's a definite setup to, you know, to make it look like I've done some real bad shit, and that's, you know, that's one way to get me out of the way. So, you know, an example of, you know, needing to get me out of the way, and this is just a really, really simple example, because there are, you know, these bottom feeders do have some very good reasons to get me out of the way. But one less, shall we say, outrageous, or one reason that's a lot easier for the everyday Joe to believe is purely, and I realized this straight away, and I don't realize many things straight away because I'm not the quickest. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, unfortunately, but at least I know it. So my car books were stolen. Now here in Thailand, basically those car books are the only thing that that prove you own a car, for the most part. So essentially, if you don't own the book, you don't own the car. If you hold the book, you pretty much own the car, whether that book's in your name or not. And then there's a few reasons for that, and you know, most of them are genuine. You know, for example, it's very common here to borrow money from a friend or from someone who's not quite as savoury. But you would borrow money from someone and you'd say, look, here's my car book as collateral, and they'll take your car book, and if you don't pay that money back, then they'll just go right ahead and re-register your car in their name and sell it or do whatever they want with it, really. But it's very common and it's pretty much above board. Happens a lot. So anyways, my car books have been stolen quite some time ago, along with a shitload of other documents that pertain to many other different things. I'm just looking at the time there on that live video. I don't know how this works, really, to be honest with you, but I'm just filling it out. So when those car books were stolen, I realized that whoever these people are had a pretty fucking, you know, that their plans for me were not good, from my perspective. So to steal someone's car books, I mean, let's, you know, look at the process here. You steal a book, then what do? You know, you want to either sell the car, or you want to register the car for yourself, or either way, you know, someone's name's got to be involved, because, you know, you need to register the car and sell it, or register the car and keep it, or whatever you're going to do. Either way, someone's name's coming up, and there's going to be some identification used. So, you know, someone's got to come out and show their face if they want to continue on any further past stealing the book. So, you know, really, what does that mean for me? You know, someone steals the book, then they register the car in their name. I say, hey, there's the motherfucker that stole my car book, because he's registering it in his name now, and that's sort of the end of that. So, you know, I realized pretty early on there that, you know, their plans for me were either jail, you know, not being allowed back into the country, or worse. And now, given the threats that are being thrown around, it's looking like worse. But it's also looking like possibly jail too, because I'm seeing some setups, some things playing out. Now, for anyone out there, which is no one, but anyone that watches this and knows anything about hacking or any of this side of things, they will know, not that I did before, but I do now because I've had to learn, that social engineering really is the name of the game here. And it's really all these people ever do. It's not Mr. Robot sat in a dark basement somewhere bashing away on a keyboard till he finally crack someone's password, it's social engineering. It's creating a situation or making someone believe something until they do whatever they want that person to do. Stand by, I'm getting a chocolate sundae. Chocolate sundae ครับ
เราเป็นกาแฟทะเล
ครับผม
เราเป็นกินด้วยดีครับลูกค้า
ขอบคุณครับ
ขอบคุณ
It's a bit of a ritual for me. One of the reasons is I get left alone in this car park because it's right next to a bank. I'll explain that later as well. Clean the car out.
ลูกค้ามีกาแฟทะเลต่อ
I just want one for now. Yeah, I'll come back for another one after. They know me too well. They know I always have two. Coffee cup. I usually come back for the other one. Coffee cup, man. Thank you. So, yeah, the fat one. Yeah, social engineering. So, and I'd like to say that, you know, in the other recordings that I've made, I repeat it over and over. You know, as something develops and I see some other situation arise, I'm always quick to say, like, kick. Oh, thanks, man. You know, I take everything with a pinch of salt because this social engineering is such a strong element to this. So, you know, anything that I catch onto and go, this looks like this, or perhaps this is happening, you know, is more often than not actually it's a ruse. It's a red herring, and it's basically designed to make me think or react in a certain way. So, you know, all this stuff needs to be taken with a pinch of salt and not taken too seriously, but at the same time, you know, kept in mind for whatever else happens next. Now, it's difficult to explain such a complex thing without sounding like a raving lunatic. But hopefully, as time goes on and as I explain more, these things that I say will make a little bit more sense. So basically, you know, what's happening now. So, you know, I really did. I wanted to leave a lot of things out, but it's kind of difficult to do. So I'm going to give it a shot. So let's just say that when I packed my house up to sell it, I put everything in storage, and let's just say that there's some things in storage that are of very much of interest to these people, and I should make it known now that these people aren't just a couple of kids in their mother's basement, you know, bashing away on a keyboard. This is a pretty large entity with a lot of resources, and they're pretty fucking serious. They're serious individuals. They're not the people you want to fuck with. But of course, me being me, with the brass balls and fuck all to back it up, I went and got myself involved in this. Well, I didn't get myself involved. I just didn't back down, and now I'm getting death threats all the time. So I'm gonna come out right now. I'm gonna come right out and set this firm, as they like to call themselves, very English heavy, just in case anybody's asking. I know where a lot of them live. I don't know where the head of the snake is. Not that it matters to me anymore, because at this point I'm looking to get out of here with my life, and perhaps a little more than the shirt on my back would be fucking fantastic. So perhaps I won't elaborate too much, and we'll just see how this goes, because I'll see what the reaction is anyway before I take it too far. But just to maybe to illustrate what sort of resources we're talking about here, there was a time not so long ago when, for about a week, I could rarely go anywhere without at least four or twice that many Toyota Fortuners in tow. I would be followed absolutely everywhere. And when I say Fortuners, I mean this is like, if you could imagine, a fleet situation, so like if you're a company, you own a carpet cleaning business, you buy a fleet of cars. You say to your favored Toyota dealer, "Hello, sir. I'd like to buy 8 HiAce vans, please. What's the best deal you could do for me?" And they'll say, "Well, we can supply you with 8 HiAce vans at this price." That's just kind of like what's happened here. It's a fleet. They're all exactly the same car, the same model, probably bought at the same dealership. It's a fleet. It's kind of like a business would buy. So the resource and that's really nothing, but it's just to illustrate that it's not just a couple of blokes who are hard as fuck, following me around. There's very much a local element. There's a lot of ties involved. Police are involved. But, that doesn't mean much really, because anyone can get the police involved without very much expense at all. So yeah, essentially these guys want me to remove all the evidence that I have of their wrongdoing that I have in my storage lockers. They would like me to do it for them. And then there has been, in the past, there has been the promise of, we'll make you whole, or we'll look after you, or we'll do something for you, if you do. Well, I've never once held their word on that one. And so now I am under no illusions that they will never ever hold that end of the bargain. And actually, it occurred to me just recently that, most likely once I do all that stuff for them, there really is only one thing left in regards to covering up what it is that they have done. And that one thing left would be me. So, whilst on one hand, I'd very much like to do all the things that they're asking me to do, and then they leave me alone, I can't see how that's going to happen. So, I'm really not too sure what to do, because they've definitely taken the wind out of my sails. Now, for the last 6 months, I have been, I don't want to make this sound like I'm a force to be reckoned with, because it's certainly not. These guys have just had their way with me the whole time. But let's just say I have done my best which isn't that good, but I put my best effort in. I mean, most of it was just trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. But also, I've put my best effort into Also, for example, I was kind of when I got a pretty good grasp of what this is. I kind of said, well, all right, guys, I know what you've done. And we're starting to stray outside the realms of hacking here. But I said, I know what you've done. I'm not asking for any compensation for what you've done, though, anybody would be within their rights to do so. I said, I'm not asking for compensation, but I am asking to be, let's just say, I'd like to be paid back for what's been stolen from me. And I thought that was pretty fair. And in fact, when I thought we were negotiating, which turns out that was just them having a fucking laugh, thinking it was great fun. But I thought we were negotiating. I actually said, in the very beginning, I said, I tell you what, take 50%, you can have half. If it means that I don't have to play this bullshit game with you anymore. You take half, I'll take half, I'll go on my merry fucking way. No one will ever see me, at least in this country, ever again. And that was not met favourably. Well, it just wasn't met at all. And then I kind of went up my day. So, about 3 or 4 weeks later, I guess, and a lot more investigation on my part. So it should be probably explained now that I have dedicated at least 18 hours. I've dedicated every waking hour to this for the last 7 months. I haven't been back to work. I haven't done anything. I've basically I've ate, slept, shat and breathed this. So 3 or so weeks later, and I had learned a hell of a lot more, and I've learned a hell of a lot more about these people, and I've learned a hell of a lot more about this place. And I kind of, being the dickhead that I am, thought, well, fucking, with what I've got here, surely these dickheads have got to they've got to meet me. They've got to meet me now, And I said, so, with what I've learned, and now what I've learned that I have, I didn't know that I had before, you fuckers can give me 80% and I'll give you 20% just as a finder's fee, because I reckon that's fair. You guys have done a lot of work to get where you are, and if you've collected all of what I think you've collected, then you've done a lot of work. And I know how hard that is to collate all that shit. And I'm talking about finances of not just mine, but finances that are owed to my family as well. So I kind of went, yeah, fair's fair. I'm a fair person. I like to think I am anyway. I try to be. So, I thought, well, you've done a lot of work. So tell you what, you keep 20% as a finder's fee. You give me my 80%, and we're fucking hunky-dory. You'll never see me again, at least not in this country anyway. Well, that was laughed at as well. So, where we're at now is basically I've learned how they've positioned themselves. And we're talking over the course of. I'm just trying to think the earliest point that I can be sure of. At least a year, but more like 18 months that that they have been positioning themselves. Basically, how do I put this? Basically that they've been manoeuvring for that long to take a stand against me. So when I saw that, I just went, fuck. And don't get me wrong, I was never ever under any illusion that that these guys weren't just walking all over me the whole time. Didn't realize, you know, how well they had me. You know, they've been checkmates since fucking ages ago. And basically I put a message across to them just saying, well, all right, fellas, tail is now firmly between my legs. I guess I'll be getting the fuck out of here now then. Hey, how's that sound? So that's where I'm at. They got me over a barrel, big style. And if you believe half the things that they say, they may well have actually had me over a barrel. I was rendered unconscious, let's put it that way, probably going back about a week now, and I was rendered unconscious. I'm lucky to sleep 3 or 4 hours a night these days, and I did a solid 10 hours. Woke up on the couch with a packet of cheese stuck to my face, and I'd been out cold for 10 hours, and all my flash drives, all my hard drives, computer, even the flash drive in my dash cam, flash drive in my drone, had all been meddled with, interfered with, either files deleted or files added. So yeah, they went right there, and some of that shit was hidden, man, like fucking hidden well. You can imagine a flash, you know, a mini SD card, you know, not easy to find if you don't know where they are. Well, these fuckers found them, and and in one of these documents that, see, so what they like to do is, so here's an example. So there's a document that was made to look like it came from, actually it was made to look like it came from one of my mother's work documents. And it was, you know, it was written very much in the vein of you know, just an everyday occupational health and safety document. Only the names have been changed and addresses and things like that. And this is how they roll, right? So they'll use the name of someone and the address of something to convey a message. And the way that the name reads, you know, if you put a bit of a spin on it, you read it the right way, it'll convey a message, and I can show that just so you know I don't sound like a complete fucking lunatic on this occasion. So, but basically what they were, oh, fuck it, I'll put that document up, and then you can have a look at it for yourselves. But basically what they were saying is they were basically alluding to me being unconscious on the couch, and that they had had anal sex with me while I was unconscious, and that they'd also had sex with my girlfriend while that was occurring. So yeah, really lovely, sweet, lovely characters. I'm sure that their mothers would be very proud. And I'm sure that most of them have the privilege of their mothers still being around. Unfortunately, some of us do not. So that's the kind of people we're dealing with. Where was it going with it? So yeah, and you know, this is the kind of setup that I'm talking about. So, you know, unconscious somehow, something to drink, don't know. Maybe I was just really fucking tired, and I am really fucking tired. You know, I push myself way too hard through this, and it is entirely possible that I just flagged out on the couch. I was comfortable, and body just needed 10 hours sleep. It's possible. On the very night that all my hard drives and things were stolen or meddled with, starting to look unlikely, you know, and then on the very night that they were all meddled with and a document was left behind saying that I was anally raped, less and less likely. It's looking more and more like perhaps I was rendered unconscious through some other means, but I can't prove that. Well, probably could actually, but I'm not about to. And it should be noted now that police are extremely difficult to deal with. Whether there's a reason for that, I don't know. I'm not fussed in trying to find that out. In fact, I'm not fussed trying to find out much at all anymore. I just want to be able to, basically I want to be able to sell what I've got, take what I've got still left, which is fuck all compared to what I had, and get the fuck out of here. So, that being said, I'm going to go and get myself another chocolate sundae, try and keep these videos short. I know it's a bit of an introduction, and it was a shit introduction, I know. Hopefully, you know, as time goes on, it'll make a lot more sense. And if it doesn't, you know, at least, but really, like I say, you know, it's not really, I know it's boring, and you know, it's probably fucking no one wants to hear it, but at least, really what this is for me is A, documenting what's happened, but B, probably more importantly, is documenting what's happening before some of these other setups come into play. So again, just to elaborate on that, basically along with this statement that I've been anally raped, basically saying some other things like kind of implying that perhaps some other things could have happened, or at least some evidence of other things may have happened, you know, like, and what scares me is firstly that they're putting files on and off my hard drives, and fuck knows what's hidden on them. You know, there could be all sorts of nasty little things that might pop up later. But yeah, you know, I mean, you know, if that's what they've done, then basically that they could set up a situation where, you know, I'm unconscious or very near unconscious, and they could put me in a compromising position. And then, I don't want to say take evidence of that, because it wouldn't be true evidence of it, but certainly make it look like I have done something that I've not done. And you do hear this happening. This does happen to, you know, people in power, you know, as a conference, casino lounge, having his last beer before he goes to sleep. Sexy lady comes down, he has another couple of drinks with the sexy lady. She wants to go upstairs, something in the drink, he's unconscious. You know, compromise, let's just say, I don't want to go into the details, but let's just say, you know, create a situation that looks like something that it's not, and before you know it, bills get passed. So that is my main reason for documenting this stuff. As I kind of want it out there before it gets real wacky, and actually I can see the setup for it already. So I should also just in this I'm sorry it's dragging on, but it seems like my girlfriend, whether this is her doing or not, and I'm not saying that it is, because these fuckers are well capable of creating a situation that looks like my girlfriend's doing something, or looks like I'm doing something, when in fact we are not. But it certainly looks like there is a following or a group of people, or there is the illusion of a group of people, or the illusion of a following. They're following my girlfriend, right? And this is on social media and stuff, who believe that I physically abused my girlfriend, and sexually abused my girlfriend, and that I don't let her out of the house and stuff like this, right? There's been stuff said like I rape her anally and all this fucked up shit. So I kind of just want to put that out there too, because I certainly do not abuse my girlfriend in any way, shape or form. And anyone that knows me will know that I am the last person that will ever abuse a woman. So I just want to put that out there as well, just so it's out in the open. And she tells me that she would attest to the same. So, you know, there's a good chance that she knows nothing of this as well. So I'm gonna leave it at that. And if I think of anything with some friggin' substance, I'll jump back on, I guess. But yeah, so it's all pretty aloof, and it's, you know, get very far with it. It's not exactly the way I intended for it to go, but hopefully over time, you know, it'll start to make some sense. But I'll fuck off for now, and I wish you all the best. Say hi to your mum for me.